This is a dramatic labs adventure. The relationships and events you're about to experience will be shaped by the choices you make. Here we go. From Dramatic Labs. What's up, Majin?
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4.
Here we go.
The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down.
I hate ion storms. At least in Helldivers.
They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know.
Jara Rydek.
Dose of new blood to the crew.
There she is. That's a heck of an ion storm, man. Wait, I don't have a controller. I should probably plug in a controller.
Thanks.
It said RT, and I was like, what button is that on keyboard?
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
The crew is impacted by the things you say.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Star Trek Resurgence. Yorko's like anything but the transporter, man. Change of station. All right, we're here. Check in at security. All right, so I plugged in my controller. Now we're able to walk around.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation
Welcome to Starbase
space.
128, Starfleet
Long way
Operational
from
Support
home now.
Services.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
We're next.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds. Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
Yeah.
The pleasure is mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Sweet. Let's get going. Find Commander Ermot. Okay, shows you all the stuff you can interact with. Gotcha.
Good day, Commander.
Oh, we can run. Let's go.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Oh, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me. Thanks so much, Commander.
All right. So we're looking for a blue skin dude, huh? Well, before we interact or talk to him, we gotta... Oh, he's over there. I see him on the corner. I want to look at everything else, though.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
Okay. Who's this?
Excuse me. Have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
So we're gonna interact with everything else. Look at
I'll
this
replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
replicated meal. Look at that. There's a few of them here. You got all kinds of things. Whatever they are.
Excuse me.
Alright, this is the guy we're looking for. Nothing else we can interact with, right? Yeah, except for the elevator. There's Commander Ermot.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on
I recognize this voice. That's, what's his name? Liam,
Commander,
I believe.
I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was perfectly fine. No trouble at all.
I'm glad to hear it.
I'd replicate an ounce of wheat and a gallon of...
We're grateful
ounce of
you're
wheat and a
able to
gallon of
fill our
chocolate
first
milk every
office
day?
vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were
Nice.
available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework.
Endeavor.
Like I said, we're very lucky.
It's a shame that for me that they're talking about all these references about things because I don't get most of
May
them.
not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go,
But I'm sure
she can more than hold
it's
her own.
what the stuff they're talking about is pretty cool.
And she doesn't look so bad
If you know what it
considering
is.
6 months ago, she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but
Meaning War was moody, lasted a
it was more
while.
than she could handle.
She,
Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew.
damn, 22.
At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
It's been 6 months. What's the attitude among the crew now?
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward.
Damn, that was kind of a
If not, move on.
shift in.
Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solana for quite some time.
Captain
I'm
Solana.
sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Thank you. Always good to have a sense for what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
Good man, letting us know what we're getting
Starfleet has
into.
assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board.
Look at that. Jar made a good first impression with Commander Ermont, coming off as inquisitive and appreciative while showing empathy for the rest of the crew that Resolute suffered. Ensign Calloway was grateful for Jar's sense of humor when he was nervous on the shuttle flight.
I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Sweet. Open up. Oh, we get to play as another character too. By the looks of it.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Find the plasma torch. There we go. Things looking rough. Look at that, brand new. It's a hell of a difference.
Is that?
The lower decks. Isn't that a name of one of the other shows, the animated one?
I thought the thing was totally fried. Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Millie.
And not a moment
Nice.
too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Oh boy. Follow Ed Solar to engineering. Yeah.
Come on!
Oh, these are heavier than they look. Makes more sense than zero-G. You're welcome.
Carter Diaz!
So clean I can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
Oh man, there's so much stuff to interact with though.
Hurry up!
Everything okay?
I dropped a non-ferrous connector between the coils. Gonna have to remove a few of them to find it, and then...
Whew, then another hour of recalibrating. Ouch. I'll leave you to it.
Time's a-wasting.
Corrosion in there was pretty extreme. Nothing I couldn't handle, though.
Why are they rushing me, man? There's so much stuff to interact with.
That's not where that goes. Maybe we can figure out where you're supposed to be.
Hey, Jawa. How's it going?
Hey, Diaz, have you seen a hyperspanner around here? Oh, hey, there it is. You're a lifesaver, Diaz.
Well, I don't know about that, but I try.
Hey, Diaz, can you give us some help with the transporter?
What's the problem?
We need to test this cargo transporter. I've never been that great with the signal plotting.
I only just started Jawa, but it's, yeah, solid so far. Oh, damn. Select waypoints to create a path to the ionic interference. The line connecting the points will lose stability if it passes through interference. The yellow bar indicates the stability of your path. When full, you will succeed. Use R to aim and hold right trigger to select and drag waypoints.
No sweat. Whoa, whoa, hey, buddy, get off the pad!
Bye, dude. Where was he standing there?
Don't tell Chovak.
Not a word.
Wow.
Place for everything, and everything in its place. Someone gonna fix that? Hey, don't let LT catch you blocking the corridors like this.
We'll
All right,
clear it up
Jawa.
once we finish the
Appreciate
delicate
it.
work. Good looking out, though.
Junction 34B gives you access to the tubes behind cargo storage all the way to the turbo lift.
Not after the retrofit. Bulkhead
I don't
cuts
need
it off in
anything from
section 2.
utilities.
New computer
Force
reroutes.
of habit, I guess.
So then,
I'm thinking we'll have to do the work in that tube.
Hey, need any help?
wait, there's a sub.
Okay. Good luck.
I'm just interacting with everything it lets me interact with, alright? That's the go-to for these types of games.
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious.
Oh, really?
Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander
Are they
Chovak.
like not as common, Yorko?
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar,
Oh, damn.
Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late.
We got a Vulcan, huh?
We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edsolar on repeated occasions.
Oh, Commander Chovak, isn't it true that if we were almost late, it categorically means that we were not late?
That is correct, Mr. Diaz.
I mean, if anything, Ed Solar and I are following the schedule to the letter.
Yes, perhaps I should adjust the schedule accordingly.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Oh, okay. That is interesting.
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander
Roger that.
Chobak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chobak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out, and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
It all comes down to us, Nilly. We're the ones who will get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, man.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy.
Damn.
Don't think I forgot.
Lieutenant Commander Chobak found Carter to be cheeky and cavalier when he and Itzla were almost late in the main engineering. Miranda felt encouraged by Carter's warm reception when she first arrived aboard the Resolute, holding out hope there might be some chemistry between them.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Let's go on a spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Let's go. An ion storm is still raging. Let's get this thing ready to go.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
So while they do this, we go back to Jara, I'm guessing. The USS Resolute. All hands.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Oh, damn. What can we make from the replicator? What are the possibilities? What are our choices here? What's this? Mineral. They're not rocks, they're minerals, Marie.
Solano ever discovered. Always was the nostalgic type.
Starfleet Academy, Zachary Solano.
I can't believe he keeps this around. Don't even know where mine is.
That's a view.
We'll be out there soon. Going where no one has gone before.
A choo-choo train.
He's still got a thing for trains.
The purist would order a Earl Grey.
Apparently.
Okay. It's the Picard special, right? From the little that I know.
Can't wait to plot a course myself.
All right, let's use the replicator.
Just a sip of something.
Oh, damn. Oh, gotta go with some tea then.
Decisions.
You
Tea.
get 3 options. Dang, even with the Starfleet mug too? Damn, let's go.
That's lovely.
What type of tea is it though, I wonder? Nope. And it goes bye-bye too? Damn.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the Academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
It's fucking Omni-Man. Yeah, right? Kinda, it does look like him.
That is, that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I assume you mean the accident.
That's right. The tragic accident, really. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship could handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. And I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space.
Tari
Two
Prime.
previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hatari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details at the rendezvous.
But are we prepared to embark on the mission?
As much as I'd like to think that's true, I have my doubts. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
Jizz?
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Sweet. Captain Solano was reassured by Jara's modesty and leadership potential after their first meeting. Okay. Hey, Val. How's it going? Here we go with the rest of the crew. You got what, like an hour left, Val?
Everyone,
Nice.
if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
Lieutenant Handar.
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our Tactical Officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time.
Oh, we got a fan.
And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
That's very kind of you to say. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done.
I don't know what to say. That's incredibly flattering, thank you.
I hope someday I can follow in your footsteps.
I'm sure you will.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Hey, let's go. Sit in the captain's chair when ready.
Operations. Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont.
All right.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do. Impressive range of view. Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
Okay.
So many decks.
Master system
Full
display.
of crew that are now my responsibility. Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
It's pretty cool so far, Val.
Communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
She's like, oh, I hope we don't get to use it. We won't need our weapons. Like,
Tactical holodais.
I already know it's gonna have
Just
to
like
happen.
they've got on the Excelsior.
Excelsior.
The first officer seat. My seat. Right now, though, I need to fill in for Captain Solano.
Alright, we can begin. However, what's this way?
Turbolift could take me anywhere on the ship, but I'm right where I need to be.
Okay, turbo. Alright, we've interacted with everything. Let's begin.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Nothing else to do, right? Alright. Grant permission.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field. Now.
The big chair now, yeah.
Condition blue.
Storm surge.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Walk, walk, walking outside in space.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No.
You wouldn't get me out there, that's for damn sure.
Sometimes it feels like we're just part of
Not
the
even with the
machinery.
magnetic feet, Yoko?
Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still
He said, nah, man.
I am more than that. And so are you. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy.
Ed Solar felt inspired by Carter's words of encouragement during the whole walk.
I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
That's right. Big facts.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Ooh, look at all these gadgets and tools.
Beginning recalibration.
Wait, why is it going back? Why is it moving the directions that it doesn't make sense for it? Why is it happening? Shit is confusing, bro. Not supposed to be going that way, but somehow it is.
Looks good.
Jeez.
That wasn't so hard.
That was confusing.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or
Does seem a bit salty.
in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
In my entire career, it's never been an issue, or caused the slightest problem. And I don't expect this to be any different.
I was just curious, that's all.
Okay, buddy.
Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Right?
Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet.
Okay.
His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal.
Okay.
I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill.
Thanks.
He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
Hey, we just met. You might like me after you get to know me.
They say familiarity breeds contempt, but who knows? Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into.
Commander Westbrook was left with mixed feelings about Jar's sustainability as a new first officer when they first met on the bridge. Interesting.
It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen.
Okay.
At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
We've got
energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Ooh, that's a big energy wave.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding. The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over.
Red alert.
Aye.
This is why I'm not walking out. Fair enough, Yorko. Yeah. Fuck that, dude.
Sensor visualization on screen.
I don't think those magnetic shoes are gonna help getting hit by this thing, huh?
1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Petrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it.
All hands, brace for impact.
Here we go.
What happened? We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
It can blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Open up.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Okay.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Here we go. Phaser time, baby.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Oh, damn. We got 5 minutes to do it. Where are all these things coming from? And why isn't she shooting at any of this stuff, man? There's so many of them.
We're almost to the regulator.
the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral. EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance.
There we
Almost
go.
done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chobot can...
Oh boy, oh boy. That's not good. Oh shit. Well, that's a bunch of debris now headed their way.
Get down! DS to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us. Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for
We
the
have
safest
people
way to...
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Ooh, he's mad.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7.
Man, Omni-Man better
6,
get over it, bro.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Let's go, Carter. Together now. Oh, damn, she got smacked.
I got you. Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc to approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Etzelar there to access the interior.
Well, let's go.
Roger that. Go in there now.
Shit.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
At least she's awake again.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
You better be right behind me.
Oh, man. Shit, dude. Damn. I should let her go first.
We're in.
I should let her go first.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Whew. Crazy. Crazy work. The price of duty. Solano's gonna be big mad that we disobeyed his orders, though, man.
Carter.
I'm okay. I'm okay. But Etzelar...
Here, let me help you.
Jesus, look at that.
Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
Yeah, we did save crew, though. Here he is.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information
You
I had.
disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower...
I want that Spider-Man.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew.
There you go.
Trust me.
Facts.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart.
That wasn't that bad.
You'll fetch Mr. Ermot. We'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
All I ask is a tall ship.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Riker and Picard were always at it, but it's part of the job, I guess. Yeah?
Sit, everyone.
Not always gonna agree on everything, right?
You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
And we're off.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me? Engage.
We outie.
Simple, but effective.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's take seat.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Uh-oh. It was bleeping earlier.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Damn.
Commander, help me get her inside.
How often does he need to get that, like, checked on? think that having a red or the ring that changes the colors would, you keep an eye on that a little bit more closely.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her, but she'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself.
I guess so, Majin.
Iridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
Them iridium levels, man.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet, and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake.
Well, that's how you got people killed the first time, huh?
That the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Deborah Wilson. I recognize the voice right away. She's in so many games that it's like not, to play enough. You're like, all right,
what concerns me
that's
is that
that's her.
Further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery, the major innovation, something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but
Man, take care of the crew and the crew will take care of you.
Without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Damn, she's like a fangirl, dude. Get her. Oh.
Complete the diagnostic sequence, and this shuttle will be cleared for service.
Yes, sir.
The storm in the Hotari region will interfere with our transporters, so we need all available shuttlecraft in working order.
Excuse me, Commander Sherlock.
Petty Officer Maris, I will leave you to your work.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Millie. I figured you'd want to know.
Did the doc get her fixed up?
She's stable. But there's something about the storm's radiation that's making it hard to heal the energy burns.
That doesn't sound right.
She's toughing it out. Dr. Duvall said she'll be back on duty soon, though.
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
I can't stay long. I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on faster than I can check them off. We're making all our last-minute checks in security, too.
Now, we'll just have to take things as they come. Control what we can, and roll with the punches.
Next thing you're gonna tell me you're listening to Andorian jazz.
No.
The point is, the right time might never come. So, I'm just gonna roll with it. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Millie almost got killed out on the hall. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
Miranda, is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe even better than fine. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure. I know what I'm asking, which is why I'm being direct. I like you, Carter. And I think there could be something more for us.
I like you too, Miranda. And I'd like to see where this goes.
Space bonk. Here we go.
Good.
These are uncharted territories.
I'd call it a chemistry experiment. You know, with us.
I'm just really glad that you said something.
I've seen how you operate. I couldn't wait for you to make the first move. I'm glad too.
So whatever happens next is great with me.
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
I have to get back to that to-do list. They're probably looking for me.
Can't blame them.
I'll be seeing you.
Sure will. Watch something happen to her, though, man. Now that this has happened. Cast adrift.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain.
Who is the diplomat again?
Filter out environmental
We never even
signals.
asked who they
I will
are.
manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer.
We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
Come on, Diaz. First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Sweet. That's cool.
We're pulling in debris. I'm on it.
Well, that was a little too close.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Ryder, plot an intercept course.
On it.
There we go.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Now what? There we go. Teamwork. Good shit.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Oh shit.
Ambassador Spock.
Look who it is. That's our diplomat? Shit.
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Well, let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer...
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz. It appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
Well, it wasn't all me. I got some help from upstairs.
A bombastic approach to clearing debris. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space.
Ambassador Spock was impressed by Carter's skilled use of the tractor beam to rescue his shuttle, and he was left with the distinct impression Carter is a team player.
But it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies.
Tempering.
What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
All right, cool. We made a good impression on Spock. That's what's up. A provocation to war.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
You are a legend, Ambassador. There's not an officer in Starfleet that doesn't know of your career.
I would never assume that to be the case.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details.
Yeah, right. Majin, the VA is doing a pretty good job.
Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Elydia and Hotari. Elydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Elydians have shared a mining operation there. The Elydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Elydians from their system.
Oh boy.
That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Elydian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
The Hotari just won their independence. It's hard to believe they would give that up just for profit.
I agree. It would be exceedingly difficult to bring the Hotari to that position.
Neither the Elydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Elydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
The Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Elydium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
Ambassador Spock noticed Jara's keen intellect and unique insight into the dynamics of the Hotari-Elydian conflict during the mission briefing.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Elydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, That actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional, but I'm not opposed to it.
With all due respect, Ambassador, I'm not a trained diplomat.
That's exactly what we're going to leverage.
I began my time in Starfleet as a science officer, not as an ambassador. We must be adaptable in the line of duty.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.